Hello. Today, as you can tell, I'm in a different setting. I thought I would have my Christmas tree in the background. So today I am going to share with you my top 5 wintry reads. So a couple of these are Christmassy, but the rest aren't Christmassy, but they are wintry. So there's actually 7 books on this because 2 of the books on my list have their sequels as well. So I'm just going to dive straight in. There is no order to these. I'm just gonna go for it. So first up we have Winterwood by Ashia Earnshaw. Now this is a very atmospheric and beautifully written story. Ashia Earnshaw does write that very atmospheric settings. So there are a family of women who, every generation of the Walker family, have lived in this town. It's a very remote town. There's basically nothing there. It's just the lake in the mountains, and in winter, if it snows really bad, they basically get shut off from everything and they can't get down the mountain to anything, so they have to learn to live without the power for weeks on end, sometimes months, however long it takes for the snow to clear. And there's this wood, and one part of the wood you don't want to go, and only the Walker women can enter the wood on a full moon. If you go there any other time, you're going to annoy the trees, basically. It's written a lot better than that. I'm very bad at synopsis. But the story starts off with Nora Walker, who ventures into Winterwood on the full moon and picks up her lost things that she finds along the way. And one of the lost things she finds is a boy. Now, 2 weeks beforehand, 2 boys from the local camp, one has died and one has gone missing, and she has found one of the boys. She brings him back and things escalate and things happen, and it's very strange. And the Walkers are known to be a family of witches, and Nora doesn't seem to have any power of any kind. Or does she? But I can't really say anything else without giving away the story, so I'm not going to say anything else. But if you want a very atmospheric, beautifully written, quick read as well, like, this is very short and I flew through it in a couple of hours. So it's definitely one that you can get into quickly, and it really set the scene for a nice snowy, cold atmosphere, and it was perfect with a blanket and a hot chocolate. Next up we have Sky Song by Abby Elphinstone. This is a middle grade, and if you know me, you know I love Abby Elphinstone's books. This was the first one I read by her, and it definitely made her an auto by author for me. This is set in a snowy, wintry kingdom where there is an evil ice queen and a curse, and the main character has to basically go on a journey to basically figure out a way of breaking this curse. And it's just so, I can't even describe it. It's just so beautiful. And look at the cover as well. Like, this cover is stunning. I absolutely love Abby's writing. I think it's brilliant in everything she writes. And this is a standalone as well. So if you don't want to dive into her series, this is a really good place to start, in my opinion. It's where I started, and it made her an auto by author for me. So I 100% always recommend this, and it's perfect for reading it this time of year as well. And if you want a book that incorporates music, this incorporates music, which I know on a lot of readathons, there is often a prompt that involves music, and there's not many books that do incorporate music, so it's very nice to see a middle grade one that does. Next up is one of the series I was talking about, and it is the Frostheart series by Jamie Littler. So I very recently read these. I read this last month and the second one this month. This is absolutely incredible. So we have Ash, the main character, and he lives in this kind of village, and you can't really go onto the snow because there are these monsters that will get you. And we have pathfinders who basically brave the snow and go between different strongholds, not villages. I think I said villages before, not villages, strongholds. So these strongholds are pretty safe, but if you go out of the stronghold and onto the snow, they're not. However, the pathfinders brave the snow on their sleighs and go between the different strongholds. There are these things called snow weavers, which are feared, and our lovely Ash here, he's basically discovering that he's a song weaver, and he is basically cast out from his stronghold because they're scared of him basically, and what he can do and what might happen. And there's an adventure, and it's basically him trying to find his parents, who were also believed to be song weavers, who set out as pathfinders and never returned. And there's such a lovely friendship, well, not friendship, guardianship between Tobu, who is Ash's guardian in the stronghold, and follows him on his journey. And it's just so wholesome and lovely, and there's action because obviously snow monsters. And the sequel I can't tell you anything about, apart from the fact it is just as wintry and beautiful and wholesome and amazing and action-packed as the first book. And also, I'd like, every time I hold these books, you have to show off the edges because they're just stunning. I love them, and I'm very excited for the next book, which I don't know when it's coming out, but I'll be getting it when it does, because these are amazing. And again, I am butchering these synopsis, but I'm terrible at this. So if you do want to find out anything more about these books, definitely check out the actual blurbs, because you're not going to get that from me. Next up, we have an actual Christmassy book, and that is Let It Snow. This is very reflective, and that is Let It Snow, and this is by John Green, Maureen Johnson and Lauren Miracle. I'm not sure how you pronounce their surname, but this is 3 short stories, all take place on Christmas, and they are all linked, and it's just so lovely. It's contemporary, and I'm not usually a massive fan of contemporary, but I devoured this book last year. I read it last December and I absolutely adored it so much. And it is contemporary romance, so you know it's going to be like the cheesy YA, like Christmassy romance, but it is such a good 3 short stories, and you can just fly through them. Obviously there's snow, it's set in Christmas. I'm pretty sure it does take place over Christmas Day as well. So it's full on Christmas. And they're just really cute stories. I can't really tell you much else about them, but they are very cute. And if you're not into that sort of thing, then you'll hate this. But if you don't mind a little bit of cheesy romance, then I reckon this is one for you. And then the final books, which is the other series, is The Christmasaurus and The Christmasaurus and the Winter Witch by Tom Fletcher. We have a boy called William Trundle who is bullied in school, and it's just him and his dad, and they're both very, very Christmassy. They are literally Christmas. And for Christmas, William accidentally ends up with a Christmasaurus. And there is a journey, and there's Santa, and this genuinely gives me so much Christmassy joy. I absolutely adore it. And honestly, if you're not feeling Christmassy, I highly recommend these. They will get you into the Christmas spirit. I am rereading these this month. I absolutely adore these books. This one has a bit of action, more action in it, and this is beautiful. Like, I loved the character development of a certain character in this book. I thought it was so well done and it was so lovely. But I can't tell you anything else about that because you need to read this one first. But definitely check them out. I have these gorgeous illustrations on the pages, like the absolutely stunning illustrations, and the illustrations on these are done by Shane Devries. I do believe Shane Devries does the illustrations on all of Tom's middle grade books or children's books, but the illustrations, I'm holding this one upside down, but these books are amazing and I highly recommend them, especially if you want something to get you into the Christmas spirit fully. So they were my top 5 wintry reads. Obviously only 2 of the top 5, which was 3 books, are actually Christmassy, but the others do give off such wintry atmospheric vibes that I had to include them in this, and it's why I did it as a wintry reads and not Christmas reads. So if you have any other recommendations for Christmassy or wintry reads, let me know down in the comments, because I want to build up a bit of a list for next year. Yes, I know it's a year away, we are still in December now, but this is preparation. I want to have a year to get this prepared. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you take on some of these recommendations and you read them and absolutely love them like I do. And if you have read any of these, let me know what you thought of them. And be sure to hit the like button if you liked it, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Bye.